Hello everybody, it's me, Tony Sonic. You guys actually get to see my face for this one, and that is because today we are reacting to a new Versus show with their premiere episode. The show is called Nebula Theater, and their first episode is Cara versus Sonic.EXE, Undertale versus Creepypasta, aka my most wanted matchup. This is super exciting. I can't believe someone's actually tackling it, other than Animation Rewind. Now, I'm well aware that this is not the first new Versus show on the block. We've had like other Versus shows besides Death Battle for ages, but besides Triple F and I guess Smash Bracket, at least animation wise, I feel like most of them don't really compete with like obviously the big dog being Death Battle. But with this one, I've heard a lot of great things about it to the point where people are calling it on the level of Death Battle's quality, which is really I don't know if I want to say surprising, but it gives me hope that we can for indie shows like this where a bunch of passionate fans get together and make their own Versus show, and they actually make something of insane quality that you would only really see from Death Battle beforehand. So between this and Triple F, I'm excited for the future. And as for like the episode itself, you know, Cara versus Sonic.EXE, I've said many times before that I love this matchup so much. I have my own vision for it, obviously, but clearly these guys are going to take a different approach with mainly sticking with what's canon rather than doing a full composite, which is fine. And I'm not going to complain too much clean at all over it. It really just depends on the execution of it all. Like, is it gonna come together for a good product is all. And from what I've heard, that it's succeeded for a lot of people, and I really hope so too. So I'm definitely excited to see what they cooked up. Also, I really hope this video can finally get people to stop asking me if I've seen it, because I am watching it right now. So many people have commented the same thing. Have you seen Nebula Theater? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? I am watching it right now. You can shut up now. Please. I don't want to be mean, but please. There comes a point where you just gotta stop. Oh. Some random subscription. Never mind that. But yeah, this is not live, this is a recording, so without further ado, let's see what Nebula Theater has to offer.
Horror is a fascinating genre. It's meant to elicit negative emotions like fear and anxiety.
You betcha.
But it's always comforting to know that none of this stuff is real, right?
But what if it was real? That'd be pretty whack, right?
Hey, that's supposed to be mild.
Oh, okay. I'm liking what I got right here.
The two main players of this story are Cara, the first fallen human,
and Sonic.EXE, the god in hedgehog form. I'm Nils.
I'm Nick.
We are your playwrights, and we hope you enjoy this bloody show we are putting on today. Without further ado, let's teach you a little bit about these characters. Welcome, audience, to the Nebula Theater.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was
a war
between humans and monsters.
The humans were victorious, forcing the monsters into a subterranean world called the Underground, and erecting an everlasting barrier around them, forcing them to live in isolation for the rest of their days.
For the monsters, this was a crushing sentence, but under the guidance of the peaceful King Asgore and Queen Toriel, they were able to make the most of their situation.
During this, the king and the queen had their first child, Azrael Dreamer, who was destined to do great things. But he would not be their only heir.
One day, something unexpected would happen. An unhappy child would fall into the underground.
Oh.
A human named Cara.
I'm loving the editing. Okay. The demon that comes when people call its name. Yeah, the first fallen human, adopted child of the royal General Framer. Naturally creepy smile. Lacking a body or soul, they exist as an essence. Hates humanity. Loves chocolate and green and cream stripes. Made of love. But not the good kind.
Cara as their own. And Cara and Azrael would soon become best friends. As good as siblings even. But there was something that still left Cara discontent.
Cara came into the underground with a hatred for humanity, especially after hearing about the monster's imprisonment. And once they found out how to destroy the barrier, it was only a matter of time before they enacted a plan to free the monsters.
Now, Kara's plan was to poison themselves with toxic flowers and then die. Points for creativity. Then they would have their best friend Azrael absorb their human soul, which would grant Azrael immense power, enough to pass through the barrier. There, Azrael with Kara's soul would kill 6 more humans and take their souls.
You see, human souls contain incredible power,
Yep.
and this barrier could only be destroyed by the might of 7 human souls. Cara sacrificed himself to both save monster kind and exact vengeance upon humanity, but they weren't the only one in control, since Azrael made up half of their fusion.
Now, Azrael wasn't fully on board with the whole killing the humans thing.
Of
When
course.
a crowd of them attacked him out of fear, Azrael didn't fight back. Instead, he abandoned Kara's mission, returned to the underground grievously wounded and empty-handed.
There, Azrael would succumb to his
That's so
injuries and
sad.
die, turning into dust while holding Kara's corpse. The king and queen had lost both of their children after one failed plan.
Man,
Yep.
when you really think about it, Azrael's kind of an L-man's. Like, Kara killed themselves for this, and Azrael did nothing, basically making both of their deaths kind of pointless.
I get what. Okay, first thing right off the bat, I'm not really a fan of the other guy's voice. I think this is Santi Analysis who is voicing the other guy. I know Plinth is one of the character plot, or however you pronounce his name. And Plim's doing a good job with their usual tone, but I definitely not really a fan of how Santi is going out with this delivery. Like, clearly he's obviously trying to, I think he's trying to be like the boomstick character with like that southern accent he's putting on there. But it's so low energy that it doesn't really, that's not really, at least not right now, it's not really conveying any of the usual, excitement and entertainment you would have from Boomstick. But maybe it'll get better.
Like, killing 6 humans obviously isn't a great thing, don't get it twisted, but still. Are you crying?
No, shut up.
I'm sorry, man. In any case, the underground is now thoroughly shaken. Even after being imprisoned, the humans continue to take from them. To keep hope alive and to get revenge on humanity, Asgore made a drastic decree. All humans who fall underground will be killed, and their souls taken.
As the years went by and more children fell underground, Asgore collected all but one of the souls needed to destroy the barrier and finally escape into the human world, starting the war all over again.
Yep.
This is where the story of Undertale begins, as you take control of the player character Frisk, the latest fallen human to fall into the underground.
Frisk is mysterious, not much.
The angel that has seen the surface, the 8th fallen human, ambassador in one life, serial killer in another, left-handed. They're left-handed? Didn't know that. Allergic to tebe, loves flirting in blue/magenta stripes, hates soda. Well, then I guess that makes sense. They didn't really seem happy when we tried to pick the soda with Undyne.
Much is known about them from before they fell. But what we do know is that with your help, they are actually a very capable fighter.
Toriel teaches the human the very basics of combat. How to defend themselves, and how to pacify foes without fighting at all. Each monster has a way to pacify it non-lethally, but it is still an RPG. So you have the option to do it the old-fashioned way and just kill them all.
Kinda makes you wonder what would happen if you went out of your way to kill literally everyone, doesn't it?
Just
Yeah.
full scorched earth. Undertale isn't just a traditional RPG, it's also a bullet hell, which means Frisk specializes in dodging attacks, waiting for openings, and then punishing the opponent with strong blows.
And Frisk's equipment, while limited, does the job just fine.
The human has the torn notebook, burnt pan, empty gun, and the strongest weapon anyone's ever seen, the real knife.
Yep. The torn notebook increases invincibility frames. The burnt pan increases health gain by eating food. Yeah, all this cell phone, jetpack mode, laser mode, dimensional storage. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's all the things. Ooh, there are 6. I like that they have 6 sections up here for like different categories. I didn't notice that before, but that's neat.
It hurts just looking at it.
That's not even mentioning Frisk's best weapon, their cell phone. Look, hear me out. This cell phone can let Frisk fly and let them shoot lasers.
Not to mention the numerous
noticing-
healing items they have to keep themselves.
Okay, Temi armor heals over time, increases attack. The last dream, unlimited supply. Are we really giving them passive Frisk scaling? Because like this is stuff Frisk has, sure, but not Cara. I get the feeling we're doing like a full composite. Butterscotch cinnamon pie fully restores health. That's something. Legendary hero sandwich. CT. Yeah. I don't know if I would give Cara passive Frisk scaling. And that's play on words, obviously. Passive Frisk, but we'll see where this goes.
In the fight longer.
Monsters in Undertale don't fight conventionally. They attack the soul directly, meaning that these items are not only healing Frisk's body, but also their soul as well.
But even if their soul is destroyed by an enemy, the human has a broken ability called determination. Just like a video game, this lets Frisk save their progress and load back into their previous save point. So Frisk journeys through the underground, killing every
Can force themselves to become stronger, can refuse to die, can come back to life, resets, load, reset, can return everything. True reset, reset the timeline to before any resets occurred, can do this even if their soul and body is destroyed. Technically, yes. Yes, but I'm not entirely sure. Hang on, let me think. I'm trying to think about this. Can they do that even if their soul and body is destroyed? Because I don't think there's any point where that happens. Like, obviously, their soul gets destroyed in a game over, but their body's still intact, right? Is it? I don't know.
single being they can get their hands on, increasing their level as they go.
Actually, it's not pronounced level. It's pronounced love. Frisk is increasing their love as they go.
Now, hang on just a second. What do you mean their love increases the more they kill people?
So LV is actually short for love, and love is an acronym of levels of violence.
Well, I guess that's the level of writing we could expect from award-winning game dev Toby Wait a second. Does EXP stand for anything weird?
Yeah, EXP stands for execution points.
Well, whatever this love execution point system thing is, it makes the human an absolute terror, being able to kill most other monsters in only a few hits.
The reason why love makes someone stronger is because it represents the emotional distance you put between yourself and the people you're fighting. The more EXP you gain, the more you kill, the easier it is to kill again. Life kind of just loses its gravitas. Like, killing these people doesn't matter at all. Almost like they aren't even real. This leads us back to Flowey. Flowey is a reincarnation of Azrael, although he resembles nothing of what he used to be.
Azrael's essence was fused with a flower, and then forcefully injected with determination, turning him into a soulless husk of what he used to be.
This is awesome.
Much like the human, did things out of curiosity. Killing everyone, saving everyone, being neutral. Don't that sound familiar?
This drive for curiosity is something Flowey and Frisk had in common. Well, actually, it's more like it's something that Flowey and the player had in common.
Now, it's time to get a little meta. None of the other humans that fell into the underground had enough determination to change the world like Frisk could.
The lines get a little blurry here, but there's a lot of indication that the determination itself doesn't come exclusively from Frisk, but also from the player themselves. Their curiosity, their desire to see what happens. All these timelines that are possible are all due to the player's actions.
Pacifism, genocide, these are all things that only the
Hey,
player
ain't they
can control.
Ryan?
And Flowey is the only one that can accurately recall these events. The only one that can call you out on your bullshit.
Or is he? After?
I remember your genocides, Cara.
After Frisk commits a genocide route and exterminates almost every single monster in the underground, they come face to face with Sans. Throughout the story, Sans has been more of a comedic jokester than anything else, but there's always something a bit off with this funny bone man.
He seems pretty unintimidating, but the truth is he's the last defense between the human and everyone else. And turns out, when he isn't avoiding work, he's pretty damn good at his job.
And his job is apparently kicking my ass.
Sans is smart, really smart. Like really, really, really smart. He understands the world of Undertale more than almost anyone else. And he knows magic that breaks the mechanics of the game, playing like no other monster the player has fought. On top of all that, despite having no way to remember any resets, he can deduce via context clues exactly what you are. Someone determined to win the game. So if you're gonna fight dirty by getting as many do-overs as you want, so will he.
Yeah, this guy never ends his turn, meaning you never get your turn. So you cheat in kind. You manage to attack during Sans's turn.
I am noticing that they're focusing on a lot of different characters as opposed to, like, Cara. Like, obviously we had the stuff with Cara at the start, but now it's all about, like, Genocide, Frisk, and their journey, and the player, and obviously that's going to factor into, like, Cara's analysis, but I'm also noticing weird emphasis on Flowey and Sans, which, yes, they are highlights of, like, Undertale as a whole, but this is beginning to feel less like a Cara analysis and more like an Undertale analysis. Specifically, Undertale Genocide, which, sure, you can is an interesting route to take a Cara analysis with, but we haven't had Cara so much as name dropped in quite a while, so hopefully that's going to change soon.
2 times in a row, in fact. This catches Sans off guard for the first time, ending my last 6 hours of torment.
6 hours this try. With the human's obstacle gone, the only person left to kill is the king himself. Asgore Dreamer.
And here's where things get really interesting. Because of your actions in this timeline, the king doesn't even recognize you as human anymore, directly asking Frisk what kind of monster they are, leading to Asgore being non-confrontational.
Because of that, Flowey was able to kill Asgore before he even knew what was going on, and Flowey exhibits fear.
Flowey had claimed that he didn't have any emotions anymore, that he did everything out of curiosity, but at the moment of his death, where he knew he couldn't bring himself back to life, he begged, pleaded with Frisk, with the player, with Cara, not to kill him, saying that he never betrayed them after all.
Well, remember when I said Azrael...
Check. Learns the stats of invincibility and vulnerability frames the soul. The soul can persist when the body is damaged, can float around freely. Cara can exist without their body or soul. The player, that's you, don't job.
kind of dropped the ball for not killing anyone when him and Cara fused. Well, I guess Cara felt similarly. With no monsters left, all that exists is Cara and the human. Cara was in a similar state as Flowey, but instead of having their essence bound to a flower, they had their essence bound to Frisk, gaining more awareness as Frisk's love grew more and more.
Cara will ask the player whether they want to reset the timeline again or erase everything. No matter what the player answers, Cara will destroy every timeline no matter how many exist, and leave the entire universe as an empty void. Cara does this with a single slash, wiping out everything. Not just every normal monster, but everything within the current existing timeline in its entirety. This includes intangible monsters like Nebula.
Cara survived the fall into the underground. They killed every monster in the underground. Cara took control of the game away from you. Cara recreated the world of Undertale. Frisk tanked the infinite... Oh, great. We're invoking pacifist scaling again. Spurred the debate over their characterization for over a decade. Hey, finally, someone acknowledges that. It's like, no. There's no nuance to Cara. They're either pure evil or they're a victim. It's one or the other. There's no nuance. There's no middle ground. It's one or the other, and they'll scream about it till the end of days.
Someone Frisk couldn't harm normally. This attack destroyed all of time and space. It even destroyed the files on the player's computer. Cara was able to destroy infinity. For that to happen, the speed and strength of this attack would be incalculable.
This attack breaks the game.
Frisk on a pacifist route was also able to dodge an attack called the Hypergon, which destroyed an entire timeline. That would all imply incalculable speeds. I'm pretty sure that would just be immeasurable speed. If you're avoiding time itself, you got it. It's so weird once you get past infinite speed. There's infinite speed, irrelevant speed, immeasurable speed. It's just so weird. I'll just go with it.
Turning it off. And when you open it back up again, and some time passes, Cara will ask the player if they would like to restore the world in exchange for Frisk's soul. Your soul? The line's blurry.
Cara takes the soul for their own, recreating the entire cosmology of Undertale, and now taking control of Frisk's body whenever they wish.
And with that, we reach the end of the tragic tale of Frisk the Fallen Human. We know so little about them, but what we do know is that they had a life before and after the events of the game. That their own will is stolen by the player during the story, and they lose their future to Cara afterwards.
After Genocide, resetting the timelines, and eventually taking Frisk's soul, not even the player can stop Cara from accomplishing their ultimate goal.
Because in the end, you're not the only one in control.
Okay, I'm guessing that's the end of Cara's analysis, and that was interesting. I don't know if I appreciate the large gap and the gap between knowing who Cara's backstory and when we finally meet them in Genocide, because obviously you're gonna have to fill the space with something. And I get focusing on Frisk for the most part. But I don't know, the fact that we had so little emphasis on Cara for a good majority of the analysis, it doesn't feel right. And also, there seems to be a focus on the Genocide part of Cara with the more nuanced elements being kind of left to the wayside in a little bit. There's obviously an emphasis on their hatred for humanity, what they did to take away your soul. But there wasn't really anything about the other elements of Cara, not their love, not the fact that they exist to punish the player, not the fact that there is still some morality to them outside of the initial elements when you meet them at first. It's just what you can see is what you can get. Aside from that little text blurb in one of the segments. And I know which is ironic because I just said thank you. Someone acknowledges the debate over whether or not they're good or evil or somewhere in the middle. I don't know. Overall, the editing was good. The plot beats they cover a genocide route of Undertale is good, but I do think there is room for improvement. But let's see what they give us for EXE.
Outside of our dimension of the next exists a void.
Okay, this will be a composite of both JC the Hyena and Johto Boy's canon. For any discrepancies, we will stick with the classic canon.
Of nothingness.
Okay.
That is until a massive dark matter started forming, taking on the appearance of a dark cloud with red dots. This blob will be known as X.
After wandering around this void a bit, X came across this dimensional window that let him peer into the planet Earth, learning all kinds of things about humans. Our likes, dislikes, cultures, etc.
Pineapple on pizza.
One thing stood out above the rest.
It was a franchise that we all know and love, Sonic the Hedgehog. X became infatuated.
It goes by X or Lord X, not Sonic.EXE. Well, we call him Sonic.EXE anyways. Composed of dark matter, a bigger fan of classic Sonic than you are, goes by neither him nor her and is gender ambiguous, believes it is the ruler of all humanity, really dislikes Amy, has a son who it hates immensely, really? Is against the permanent killing of human beings, just started its rap career. I'm guessing that's stuff from Johto, from no, not Johto Boy, JC's canon.
With Sonic to an incredible degree, morphing his entire body to appear like Sonic himself, in a process that seems very uncomfortable.
X's eyes started bleeding profusely and it felt incredible pain, but X didn't care. After its transformation, it let out a laugh that echoed throughout the entire void.
X would then shape his void, creating small rooms that resembled areas you would see in the classic Sonic the Hedgehog games, which is where some would say the series peaked, but I digress.
But as powerful as X was, it wasn't able to actually interact with our dimension. It didn't exist in it after all.
X believed that it was the rightful ruler of all human beings, that everyone deserved to be its slaves. The idea that X couldn't have access to them was frankly unacceptable.
So X needed to devise a plan to gain access to the humans it was so interested in, which led to an interesting conclusion. Although X couldn't physically enter that dimension,
Okay, can make a human feel fear and anxiety, cause nightmares and hallucinations, manipulate a genius programmer to create the Sonic.exe game disc. Even if someone tries to stop playing the game, X will always find a way to convince them to finish the game. Yep, mental manipulation. This is a power of his, and it's quite effective.
It could influence the people inside of it. It can cause a person to feel immense anxiety, give them horrible nightmares, and even influence their minds to do its bidding.
X manipulated this genius US government level programmer to create a disc that would allow X temporary access to the human world. X then sent a piece of his dark power crashing down into the disc to complete it. This imbued the disc with his essence, which would give X complete control over the internals of the game itself.
And with all the steps complete, X can now begin its reign on humanity using a disc with only a single executable file in it. Sonic.exe. Boom! Name drop, baby.
Now, people really like Sonic the Hedgehog, so taking on his image was the best thing for X to do. A person would buy a Sonic game online because they want to feel the nostalgia, find out the game wasn't what it seemed, but continue on. Even after all this messed up stuff.
That moonwalking is so funny.
This includes two victims of X's control, Tom and Kyle.
Now, Kyle had sent Tom a copy of Sonic.exe with a note, explaining that he had passed away, and that Tom should destroy the copy of the game so no one else gets hurt.
Tom, for some reason, didn't listen to this warning, popping the game into his computer and playing the cursed disc that would seal his fate.
Now, you'd think a person would stop playing after they'd start seeing all the blood and gore throughout the game, but thinking that this was just some hacked copy of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, Tom continued out of pure curiosity.
This curiosity would be lethal. Upon completing the game, X would suck out Tom's soul, leaving his body in a vegetative state, and then trapped his soul into X's void dimension, binding Tom's soul to an avatar of a Sonic character to play with until he breaks. Because of X's love of humanity, it saw this method as a way to keep humans alive forever, personally believing that the death of a human is a waste of a life.
But breaking them is not a waste of life. Just to get that clear.
It's a god compared to them, okay? It's like when you're a kid and you break a toy. You just replace it with another one, even if you really love the toy that broke.
Now, I don't know about you, but I never treated my toys like X treats the humans he's capturing. He can manipulate the shape of his own body.
Okay, powers: teleportation, flight, previously anti-grab boots, matter manipulation, fire and lightning manipulation, technology manipulation, biology manipulation, gives light to objects, control light and darkness, pretty much anything X can think of. Thanks, Jodo boy. He can do what he wants. He is a god.
He can fly, teleport, create illusions, make fire appear from nowhere, turn the world dark, make statues sentient. He even learns every single detail about you in just a few seconds.
Just take Renee Wirtz, for example. From the interaction of Renee playing the game, X found out her name and her exact location. I'd be willing to bet that if any of us were to play this cursed game, X would be able to find out our deepest, darkest secrets. Like how I like to cry to romantic love stories, and the fact that Nick is an SCP in a Santa disguise.
It's not a disguise.
Come on, don't even deny it, man. People have been speculating this for months.
What SCP do they even think I am?
People are saying that you're something like SCP-6121. You know, the one that's just a walking mascot costume?
Weird tangent, but okay.
No one even cares about those ones.
Alright, let's just get back to the topic.
Alright. Anyway, beyond everything we've talked about, X's most broken ability is the black hole inside of its mouth. If anyone is swallowed by this black hole, their soul will shrink into a singularity and be wiped off the face of the earth, as if they never even existed.
With all of X's powers, it would then have
soul manipulation. Can rip souls out of bodies, can create avatars of the classic Sonic characters from Sonic the Hedgehog, can place souls inside said avatars, can bestow powers onto these avatars so they act more like the Sonic cast, gives the player air control over these avatars, meaning the player is manipulating these human souls. Interesting take.
Cycle around the world, stealing soul after soul and stuffing them into avatars of Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, etc.
Something I'm confused about is how is the disc circling around in the first place? Do people really keep just buying the same game from dead person to dead person?
For this information, we can actually thank a lovely detective named Derek Green. Derek was a detective who documented his investigations into the Sonic.EXE murders, who unfortunately lost his soul to the very being he was investigating.
From Derek's diary, we learned a lot. We learned how quickly X was improving in stealing souls, initially mutilating the bodies he stole from, before quickly being able to do without any sign he was there at all. We learned that everyone had their souls removed, also had their PCs and electronics destroyed. We learned that X's overall plan is to merge the human world and his void to gain complete control of all mankind. And we also find out all the factions that helped X with his plans.
X's main following is called the Cult of X, a group of people who see X as the overall ruler of mankind. They copied the main Sonic.exe game file onto a bunch of discs and had them circulate all over town to create more
JC just made a cult for X.
The cult members would then show up to the home of a person whose soul was taken, take the soul back from said person to put it back into circulation, destroy any evidence, and sometimes murder the lifeless body of the person who had their soul stolen.
And that's not the only faction helping X. Carrying out its mission to enslave all humanity is a big ask, which is probably why he also needed help inside of his void as well. These beings are called the Seven Guardians.
The Seven Guardians were created when X mixed its...
We got the Seven Guardians. Kito, Kenyo, Kofuku, Gekido, Zetsubo, and Yokubo. Wait, there's only 6 here. I'm guessing the 7th one. Yeah, Kyopu's not here. Guardian of Prayer makes you kneel from their heavenly go. Has dark matter leaking from its mouth. Will kill with kindness. Ha 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 ha. Surprisingly reserved for its title. Shapeshifter becomes intrigued by body parts and adds them to its body. It thinks it's tough shit, and it kind of is.
its own dark power with human emotions, creating a ruling force within its void, as well as another way to manipulate human emotions to make it easier for X to steal human souls.
This includes beings like Gukiru, who can manipulate someone's rage, Kyofu, who can manipulate someone's fear, and their leader, Yakubo, who manipulate a person's desires.
The forces EXE has created are essential in helping X with his greatest weakness, the time limit it can spend in the human world.
When X steals a soul, he exits the game momentarily, steals someone's soul, and then returns to his void. This only lasts for a short while. If X stays in the real world for too long, he will be ejected back into his void. This destroys his body, reducing it to its dark matter form.
Its dark matter form is much weaker than its X form, but if a soul were to touch its dark matter body, it would be erased from existence, like the black hole we saw earlier.
Now listen up, kids. Dark matter, in theory, is an invisible substance that isn't affected by light or electromagnetic radiation. It plays a very important role in maintaining gravity throughout the entire universe. Unlike matter, there is no such antimatter equivalent that could destroy it completely. Now that being said, it is still a form of matter, meaning that there is a way to destroy it. It would just have to be something with so much energy it could essentially wipe out the entire universe and leave nothing in its wake.
How do you know this much about dark matter?
Hey, you've been around as long as I have, you pick up a thing or two about particle physics.
Starting to feel really inadequate about my statistics degree. In any case, though, X does have other weaknesses, those being his own mentality.
Yeah, X is a bit impatient. If someone were to play the game in a way that X didn't like, or bait it into getting really mad, it has a tendency to rage quit the game, putting X in a sort of sleep mode as the game systems get reset.
Defeating X is no easy feat, however. It was able to explore this entire void, which is a big 4D space, which means, Nick, help?
Hey, don't worry, I got you. 4D spaces have an infinite set of points, meaning there is no end. If X was able to explore the entire void, it would have to essentially have infinite speeds.
Okay, that makes sense. This is consistent with the Word of God, where Joe
Word
Dover
of
states
God.
that X has limitless abilities and that his power level can't be measured. And here I thought just manipulating its own void was impressive.
X would spend years stealing more.
Okay, feats. Birth itself is able to manifest itself into the human world for a short time, has complete control of Sonic.EXE game discs, explored its entire void, stolen countless souls, convinced a cult to view itself as God, manipulated its void into resembling Sonic the Hedgehog, is cooler than Xenophanes. Which Xenophanes? Xenophanes or FNF Xenophanes? Because if it's Xenophanes, then sure, he's way cooler than that. But if it's FNF Xenophanes, nah, I don't know.
More human souls, eventually learning how to manage its anger and gain even better control of its powers. See, Neil, it's not that hard. Even eldritch abominations beyond our comprehension can do it.
Wait, what is that supposed
Once he did this, he donned the name Lord X. A bit of a god complex there, if I do say so myself.
Don't get it twisted. X might seem conceited, but compared to all of us small humans, it is God. And no matter how smart you are, X will always win in the end.
So, next time you see a Sonic game appear at your door, beware of its contents. Because before long, your soul could be its next plaything.
Ah, the classic scream.
Now that we've introduced today's stars, it's time to open the curtains and see how the story unfolds.
Okay, so overall solid analysis for X, but I'm beginning to think that this is gonna lean towards Cara. Like they're very painting the picture that seems to lean towards Cara based on the information they are presenting, unless I'm guessing, like, obviously the erase attack is going to come into play eventually, and I think at some point, either the outcome is it's going to work. She's going to hit, Cara is going to hit EXE and completely eradicate him, or EXE is just going to pop out for a few seconds and come back in, and then Cara will be left open for them to potentially die. But then again, they also specified that their essence still exists. It's even without a soul or body. But at the same time, what can they really do as just that essence? They're, like in Undertale, without the determination that they had from Frisk and the player, they couldn't do much of anything. So, trying to think. Something tells me they're gonna side this with Cara, and I'll hear them out in their reasoning. But I'm always on EXE's side. I've always been like on EXE's side. When it comes to like this general debate. But if Cara wins and they explain it well, I guess I can accept it. It would be nice for my favorite game of all time to get a W. But I don't know. I don't know if I would be fully convinced of their reasoning. But let's see what they got in store.
I hope you enjoy the show.
Here we go. Alright, save file. There he is.
Hey, I've been searching everywhere. I'm glad I finally found you. I just wanted to ask, would you like to play a game?
Oh! I guess that's a no. Ooh. Yep, can't kill him that easily. You wanna play a game with me? Ooh. Here we go.
What an interesting soul you have. Up for round 2.
Ah. Woo! Can't hit him. Ooh, that had to hurt. Whoop! You missed.
You're too slow. Maybe next time.
Oh, that drew blood. Whoa! Ooh! Okay, the music's going pretty hard.
Finding everyone in this realm was so easy. Everyone is so slow, fragile, and weak. Don't worry. Your soul is next.
Oh. It's empty. You gotta use the... Ooh. Okay, they're using their other weapons. Woo! He's having a lot of fun with this. Ooh. I think it might take a bit more than that. Ooh. Oh.
This mind seems to be at its limit. It's no fun anymore, but I can play with you, right, Cara?
Oh, he knows you're... Ooh. 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 Oh. Oh. All right, we're bringing the souls in. Distraction. Oh. More souls. 8 left. Oh, he's reformed. Oh, the save's gone.
Interesting. Do you think this puts you in control? Like some sort of god?
Ooh, that nice. That was a nice interaction. Woo, woo!
This realm, there's just so much death and destruction. Why do you let it persist? Because it's like perverted time?
I'm not one of you monsters. I am a control of your life and death. You are nothing but a blind enemy.
Oh, he's really not liking
There's
this.
nothing worse than someone who thinks they are above consequences.
Ooh, there it is. Ooh, this is a little hard to follow. Ooh. Yeah, this is getting a little blurry, but I'm keeping. Ooh. Ooh, this void is really getting me trippy and my blood pumping.
You are just another enemy. I will erase you like I have. For one.
Oh boy, here it comes. Oh. Oh!
How does it feel knowing that your last chance at life is now fading before your eyes?
I stopped feeling anything a long time ago.
Lying till your last breath, I see.
Oh. There goes the player. Wait, that was it? Surprising. I'm very surprised that was the way that went, but X won. Okay. I honestly, was the erase attack already there? I couldn't really see. Hang on, let me rewind that. I want to see this again. Was that the erase? No, that wasn't it.
I will erase you like I have. For one.
Okay, that's the erase attack, but it's an illusion.
How does it feel knowing that your last chance at life is now fading before your eyes?
Okay, the erase attack came into play, but it
I stopped
failed?
feeling anything a long time ago.
Lying till your last breath, I see.
A bit of a sudden ending, but I guess I can understand it. But yeah, X1, I definitely agree with that. But let's see how their reaction is.
And scene.
These two are absolute monsters that could destroy and recreate worlds in an instant, both potentially being limitless with how strong and fast they could be at their best. So there are some interesting factors to think about in this fight. We broke it down into a few very important questions.
The first question is, could these two even kill each other?
It may seem impossible at first, seeing as X is composed of dark matter and Cara has their save points, but surprisingly, they both had ways to put the other down for good.
Kara's universe-destroying slash destroyed everything. Every creature, location, time, and space, as well as even the game files of Undertale.
It's true that dark matter can't be touched by almost any form of energy, but if someone can interact with intangible beings like souls or ghosts, they should be able to harm or kill X in his dark matter form.
And since Kara's attack created a void of nothingness, killing even those intangible beings...
Okay, X's body gets destroyed and reduces itself to the dark matter form whenever X rage quits. This means that X's dark matter form should always reside within the Sonic body that is constructed, giving Cara access to kill X's true form during the fight. With the erase attack, sure, I could definitely agree that the erase attack could obliterate X if it lands.
that Slash should be able to kill X.
Cara can use their determination to come back to life, but X has its black hole. This black hole erases the existence of anyone or anything it touches.
X could easily eat Kara's save points to erase their way of coming back, and has methods to get rid of the source of Kara's determination, such as stealing the soul of both Frisk and the player.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Rid of the
Bring that
source
back.
of Kara's determination.
I was gonna read that as
such as
okay. Since equipment like the cell phone and characters like Sans can manipulate Frisk's soul in different ways, X should have no problem stealing or manipulating Kara's soul as well. Interesting. That's a good point. Other monsters like Sans and even Papyrus are able to manipulate Frisk's soul without them having any control of it. And the cell phone is also able to warp it in some way.
Stealing the soul of both Frisk and the player. This leads to the second question, who is the more skilled fighter? Which this one does have a pretty obvious answer.
Cara is the strongest being in Undertale's universe, but they didn't start that way.
They had to fight their way up the ladder, dying and restarting over and over, getting better after each retry.
X has never fought a being comparable to itself. In fact, when it gets outsmarted by normal humans, it has the tendency to rage quit and crash its own game.
As the fight goes on, Cara would start gaining the edge, while X would get more and more aggravated.
But X wouldn't make this easy on Cara, especially when we consider our third question, who had better weapons and abilities?
Cara had some neat weapons and could heal their soul with items, but X just plays in a completely different ballpark.
X can teleport around, create illusions, manipulate anything with an
He's just
exploit,
way
and
more
manipulate
versatile.
A person's emotions.
As cool as Cara is, all they can really do is slash at X. While X has tons of ways to keep Cara on the back foot and keep its distance.
So Cara is a more skilled fighter, and X has way more abilities, but the last and most important question is, who is better at manipulating souls and how do they affect the real world?
It's possible Cara can potentially steal the player's soul, but the player needs to agree to that for Cara to take it completely. Outside of that, Cara erases files in their game, and that's about it.
X can send parts of his essence to the real world, manipulate humans to do its bidding, give them nightmares, and even leave the game entirely for a brief amount of time to take.
He can. It's really a matter of who can really. It really just is just that simple. Cara is contained to the game. X is not. Like everything Cara does is still within the confines of the game and with the player's permission. X does not abide by those rules.
Take the soul and stuff it inside of one of its avatars.
Now, even without all that, X can still learn a ton about someone just by having a small interaction with them.
Things like Cara's existence within Frisk, the player's existence, and Undertale's game mechanics are all things X should have information on, meaning that X knows exactly what he needs to do to kill Cara permanently. X would just need to stop playing around with its food first.
This was a fight that showed a lot of soul, but save for a few options. X had just enough to avoid defeat. Cara couldn't help but fall behind.
So as the curtain
there is such a
closes
thing as
and
too
we
many
take a
puns.
bow, the last person you see standing on the stage is Sonic.EXE.
Well, that was fun, but let's see what the next time. Subaru versus Kazuma. Yeah, Kazuma. ReZero versus Konosuba. Nice. I have no idea how they're gonna go about this, but that'll be cool. Okay, so overall impressions. Pretty cool fight. I will say it was a little hard to track at certain points, and it was hard to tell what was going on. I think X morphed into another Cara at one point, but I'm not entirely sure on that. The death was a little anticlimactic. Like, I would have preferred I know in my own pitch I suggested a fake out where it seems like Cara won, but then X literally breaks the video to stop it and reveals that he's won. But for what the death was, it was all right. I do think it could have been a little more horrifying, frankly. Really emphasize how terrifying X can be when he's truly really at his best. But for what they did, and I like the detail of the player just being kaput at the end too, stealing both Frisk and the player's souls, which means no determination. That was actually a really cool detail. I honestly should have thought of that. But And overall, I do agree with their reasoning, and it really just comes down to like how far their powers go. Cara is still contained to the game of world of Undertale and needs the player to not only feed them determination, but also their permission to give them their soul. Because if you say no, you're stuck in that void for all eternity. Whereas X needs no permission. Like he exists so much farther beyond us that our rules are non-existent to him. But yeah, any further criticisms? I do think that the delivery of some of the lines could have been better. Like most of them just feel like they lack a lot of enthusiasm. There are moments where they get a slight chuckle out of me, and there are definitely parts where I feel like they're trying to be funny, but the delivery just doesn't land all the way. But this is just a personal thing. I would have preferred a little more energy on, frankly, both sides. Instead, I know like Plimt is just doing his normal. That's just how he sounds. And I know that I believe Santi is the other co-host. He's trying to do the boomstick voice, like, hey guys, I chug beer every day, like that kind of voice. But overall, I do think the deliveries could have been better. But this is obviously just the first episode they're doing. And any other criticisms? Again, Cara's analysis could have been better, but it was overall good. X's analysis was also good. I definitely think, honestly, I think part of the reason why his was better because like Cara has less screen time than X, like because there's a lot more to cover with X than normally. But overall, as a whole, this is a good start, and as a fan of the matchup, I am certainly satisfied. In fact, I will give it a like. And I did get this notification thanks to being subscribed to at least one of these channels. And I will definitely be in touch with Nebula Theater. This is a good start, definitely a good start, but I am eager to see it evolve and improve over the years. And I hope it does go on for many more years. However often these episodes upload, I'll be sure to catch everyone I can. And even if the matchup doesn't interest me, it'll be nice to see this series improve. But a solid start, and you can only go up from here. So with that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.